according to NHL Network, he is the top defensive prospect. We know how important it is to draft great D. What impresses you the most about Drysdale and puts him at the top? Or is he the top prospect, in your opinion, among blue liners?
He is the top prospect for me, and there's a number of unique attributes that he has. We know about his offense. A little bit unique that he's on a team that doesn't really have a lot of star players, but he seems to certainly fit in with star players when he ends up in international tournaments and events and bigger stage things. But more than anything, this guy has the very unique ability to be a one-man breakout and to have the confidence to bypass on those easy options that a lot of D make. Now, to be fair to young players, most coaches are on him. Make that first pass, make that first pass. Drysdale has passed that in terms of his maturity as a player. He comes out routinely with the puck. He'll pass on that first option. He may look to his right and say, that's Tony Luffman. He's not going to bury it. I'm not going to give it to him. He'll hold it. He'll use his great feet. I'm being funny, Tony. He'll skate, and then he'll make a better decision down the road. And he does that, on a serious note, consistently. That is really special. You cannot teach that. Now, I've asked him about that in that very long interview that we conducted. And he just said, look, a lot of people have had confidence in me. It's helped me to build my game. I use my feet often to get out of trouble. I use my feet to create opportunities, and he does it as well as anybody. Think Erik Karlsson-like.
Oof.
He is really dynamic for me. And he does not, another uniqueness about him, he does not get tired. When I looked at games of his and I'd go back and watch games, it was always consistently the third period when he would elevate. When other players were dropping, it's like he was getting energy throughout the game. A lot of special attributes, a lot of things to like with Jamie Drysdale.
Those are great compliments. The legs feed the wolf. My big question mark for him is where he comes from, Toronto. Are there good players to come out of there? Yes, there are. But there's an American we've yet to discuss.
Yes.
Please, talk to us about Jake Sanderson, because there's so many people who are so high on him.
Yeah, there are, and Jake's got the great bloodlines, obviously. His father, Jeff, longtime player, 1,100-plus games, 700 points in the league. He might have been a forward. That's okay. It's not uncommon for a dad to want his son to play a different position, to have his own identity. I have some children, too. It makes things easier. Jake Sanderson, though, why I'm so high on him, to me, if Jamie Drysdale is the best offensive player, he's the best defensive player in this draft. He's a prototypical transition player. Think Ryan Suter at the end of the day.
Ooh.
He's just got this uncanny strength. He's long, he's rangy, his skating is elite. He's not super offensive, but he started to show some signs right before the pandemic. And I heard Sam talking about this on NHL Now, who'll be doing the draft with us. And he was making this point that, you know what, some of these kids that were really starting to peak and then got cut off, that's the lasting memory that scouts have of them.
Interesting.
And those kids have been kind of slowly climbing up the draft. We have him rated about 9th on our list. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes in the top 7.
Keep in mind, the guy sitting next to me drafted Victor Hedman, 2nd overall. I swear I saw Hedman skating around with the Conn Smythe and then the cup. This is about projecting. That's the point you're making right now. The challenge of looking at a player who is whatever size he is now and whatever level of maturity, but you've got to project and find out what kind of ceiling you think he'll have and then see how it unfolds.
Yeah, you do. And when I look at the overall defensive corps here, the group of guys that we have on our list, I am very confident that these two players will be the first 2 selected. It is possible that Jake Sanderson could be selected ahead of Jamie Drysdale. But the other players that we have on our list, and we identified a couple more of them, Caden Gooley, his brother, drafted by the Buffalo Sabres in the 2nd round, now plying his trade with the Anaheim Ducks via trade. He is similar to his brother. He is a gifted skater. Some people struggle with his hockey IQ. As you move down the draft, and I'm still talking about in the 1st round, scouts will really nitpick on things that they don't like about you. That's what chips you down. I can't tell you how many times they're wrong, just for the record. And Braden Schneider, another guy, very similar. Got a little bit more character. You see the strength right there. Right shot defenseman. That's enticing for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
He's another guy that I think will be picked in the 1st round. Not as high as the other 2, but there's more of a projection on him. What is he going to be? He's got good size, good mobility, good skating, a lot of things to like. Not quite the finished product of the other guys.